All right, who's gonna do the introduction?
We just have to, we have to ease into it. Okay, we have to talk about something funny, and then we can, fade in, and then we do the introduction.
Yeah, sometimes these podcasts just start coming in, and they're already like talking about something, and they're like, "Oh yeah, hey everyone."
Right. Well, there's two different styles. You have the people that ease in, and then you have the people that start with an introduction.
We want to
like
be
a
an
radio
ease in
show.
people.
We want to be an ease in people.
I think so.
All right,
Easing
well,
is
we can
funny.
ease in.
Easing is funny.
Easy. It's like a cold open, and then you leave the introduction, and then you get into the meat.
It's more all natural.
Welcome.
Well, we're here.
We're here. We're doing this.
To our inaugural episode.
Welcome to our first recording of Holly-wEiRd.
Yeah. Well, the boys take.
The boys take Holly-wEiRd.
The boys take Holly-wEiRd. My bad.
Boys
I'm
take Holly-wEiRd.
not clear on the name yet. So
Yeah.
that is the name. The boys take Holly-wEiRd. Welcome.
We were only clear about it like 30 minutes ago. So.
But we got to figure it out. So.
Yeah, we were only clear about it very recently. But where we review all of our favorite and least favorite movies, we're going to go through pretty much anything and everything that we can think of.
Some honorable mentions.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Cool.
so I guess for this introduction episode, we'll go through our...
Wait,
movies from
real quick.
2022.
I think we should just introduce ourselves first.
That's also
True.
good.
Yeah.
It's a great idea. Thank you, Nick.
Go ahead.
That was Nick.
Yeah,
Go- why don't you go
might
first?
as well start. My name is Nick. I'm kind of the bad boy around here. I'm just kind of, doing things as they come to me. Living.
Supposed to be the wild card.
Are you
all
gonna
right,
put
well,
your
I'm
whole
Hudson.
life?
Yeah.
Okay, go.
I already did.
Say it again.
Oh,
Say it for
okay.
the camera.
Well, I'm Hudson. There's no camera.
I'm Brandon. That's about it.
I had a whole thing.
I didn't know we had to have a whole thing prepared. But
Okay, we're roommates. We all live in Colorado. We love movies. It's kind of our thing.
yeah, we love movies so much, and we
That's
figured,
true. We really met in theater in high school.
yeah, theater, and then we've
Film.
just continued to kind of have a bond over those
We
things.
made
We're
a lot
always-
of dumbass high school films, as most
Oh, really bad stuff.
film students do.
We made some bad films. We'll link those in the description below.
Will we?
Yeah, wherever podcasts are sold, you can see the link for.
Yeah, so we're just pretty much, we figured instead of just sitting around talking about movies on our own like
Yeah.
we always do, we may as well
Sitting around
Talk-
talking each other off. And
Ah.
might as well.
may as well talk about it with some other like-minded folk who might want to listen to us blab on about the same kind of things they like to talk about too.
Because that's really all we ever do. That's all we talk about is movies.
God, that is all we ever talk
It's
about.
kind of insufferable to other people, but we figured that there is an audience out there that would
Yeah.
want to hear the
We
insufferability.
hope you're listening.
I agree about that. We do hope you're
Oh
listening.
my god.
Okay, yeah. So I think naturally the episodes are gonna be just like we tell each other to watch a movie that the other people haven't seen, and then we're just gonna all review it. Maybe the
Yeah.
other people haven't.
Yeah, I think
seen
what
it.
we decided is the three of us are going to trade off weeks, and one of us will pick a movie that the other two have to watch, and then we'll all go through it and make notes, things we liked, things we didn't like. We can do behind the scenes fun facts and stuff if that's something that we want to do.
I like
Whoever
it.
wants to take that upon themselves, like per week, can absolutely do that if it's the person who's picking the movie, maybe.
But our first episode.
Yeah,
is
this
gonna
episode
be-
is just a reflection of 2022, our favorite movies, top 5, and then we'll go through a few other things as well. Do we want to start with honorable mentions, things that did not make the list for our top 5 favorite movies of 2022?
Yeah, totally.
I like that.
Do we want to go, everyone goes, like I do all my 5?
I think
No.
No. Let's bounce. Let's popcorn.
We'll popcorn.
Okay.
Yeah,
Let's
let's
popcorn.
Okay, we have 3 honorable mentions. My first one that did not make my top 5 was Top Gun Maverick.
Hey. Yeah.
Really, really liked that movie. But I will say that there were holes generally within the plot and the story that just didn't quite fill it 100%.
Yeah. Well, I mean, going into that movie, I don't think I was expecting a lot. It's in my honorable mentions too because it was really good. I haven't seen the first Top Gun, which is a big mistake.
Wow.
Yeah.
But
Me neither.
Yeah.
That'll be one that we watch then.
Yeah. I wasn't. I was just expecting like an action flick with no smack, no depth, and it was pretty insane. It had a lot of depth, and I felt emotions watching that movie. movie.
No, I think it was overall it's really well done, and I think that one thing that obviously everyone applauds Tom Cruise for is that he really goes all out for his movies in terms of practicality. Like he wants to make sure that everything is done true and that it's done right, and he'll do things over and over and over and over again. And the fact that the whole cast learned how to fly fighter jets for this movie is absolutely insane.
Mm-hmm.
But the enemy was just this vague sort of no-named enemy in a place with no real location, with a task that we really didn't understand.
Yeah.
The whole
but I thought that was
thing
a
that they were
strength.
chasing.
Are you saying that's a negative?
I am saying it's a negative. Cool. I thought we were just following protagonists, and I felt like the antagonists you could argue were within themselves and each other, but it didn't seem strong enough to really drive the characters forward.
You saw it.
I don't know.
You saw it, right?
Yeah, it wasn't on. I didn't have it on this list, but I did. I really did like. My favorite part was the action for sure, because a lot of times in these types of movies, I feel like your eyes can kind of just glaze over, or you'll not really enjoy it. But I loved the action in this. I thought it was so cool how
was
practical.
This also in your honorable mention list?
It was not. It was not.
Okay, so give us one from yours, because this both hit one.
Yeah. So in my honorable mention, one of mine would be X, the horror slasher film. I know you were watching that the other day.
Oh my god, that's crazy to think about. That they X and Pearl came out in the same
I just realized 10 minutes ago that this came out this year. Yeah. I haven't seen Pearl
like that
yet.
Must be common knowledge.
I haven't seen Pearl yet, but X, I thought it was such a cool take on a slasher film.
Yeah.
And it was just like super different, and like it was really weird and kind of off the rails, but I just had a lot of fun with it the whole time, and I was engaged, and it definitely like stuck with me.
Yeah, I really want to finish it because it definitely roped me in.
Yeah.
And I was bummed that I wasn't able to finish it all in one sitting.
And I like it because the villains, if you want to call them that, the bad slasher characters have a lot of depth in it, and like it gives backstory for why.
Characters? Slasher characters.
Well, guess I shouldn't be just ruining the movie.
God!
But no, character, you'll see when you finish the movie, kind of what I mean.
And then you'll see when you watch Pearl, obviously.
Which I gotta watch too. We should all watch that together.
Which is the prequel. No, of course.
So yeah, that was one I threw out.
You didn't know that?
Didn't know it?
It's about the old lady as a young lass.
Wow, that sounds cool.
Yeah, it is
Holy
cool.
cow. Oh, because her name is Pearl. Yep, I got that.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Just came out.
It all
connects.
Yeah.
Okay.
Okay, well, I'll read an honorable mention since
for
I read it. You guys are gonna really make fun of me for this. Okay, I watched it last night. I cried like a baby. It's Matilda the Musical, which is the movie adaptation of the Broadway musical, which is based off of the book, not based off of the original movie.
Right.
And it is just phenomenal.
I mean, I would absolutely believe it. I walked in on you watching pieces of it and wiping tears away. I think that, from what I could tell, it absolutely seemed it very much reminded me of Greatest Showman in terms of it felt like a stage musical being put into film, and that's a really unique thing that hasn't been done a lot. And I think for a movie to actually really do that well is
because you've seen
awesome.
You've seen the original Matilda.
I did see the original.
Have you?
Yes, but I don't remember it that well.
Okay. Well, if you're a big fan
of good movie,
if you're a big fan of that, I think you will still love this, even though it's very different.
Okay.
But yeah,
I think you have to like music.
Give me 5 seconds to adjust my mic. I just don't want to give any feedback here. I just want to. All right.
Okay.
We good.
Sure.
We good. Keep going.
Right.
Matilda. So okay, I've seen the original and I remember liking it. So I'll have to give the good old musical.
I think you would love it, considering how much you embarrassingly loved Greatest Showman.
Oh, I do embarrassingly love it. But it's not embarrassing.
I love
It's not embarrassing to say you love Greatest Showman, though.
You guys are looking at me like
this isn't. It's not part of a 2022, but it's worth a mention. Greatest Showman.
It didn't make me cry. Yeah.
This one made me cry.
Okay. Brun, give us another.
No, you go.
Me?
Yeah, you're next.
All right. Black Adam.
Okay.
Black Adam.
This will be a
It
controversial
didn't make my
one.
top 5. Because here's the thing, is you guys know how largely DC lives in my heart and how heated this whole thing has been for the public and the audience to go through this emotional roller coasters that is the DCEU. And I will say that Black Adam was what I expected, and I think it delivered on exactly what we were hoping that it would. But unfortunately, it did not bring in the box office sum that they needed for us to continue the Snyderverse and Henry Cavill.
What about the movie? did you like?
About the movie?
Yeah.
I thought that it was. I will say Dwayne Johnson's acting was better than I expected it to be. I thought he played the character very well.
Mm-hmm.
I really liked how they didn't just make him a hero. They actually really are playing into the anti-hero that is Black Adam. That is a little bit more comic accurate. He is not just fighting to be a good guy. He's just fighting to do what he thinks is right, and he'll kill as many people along the way as he wants to, which is out of the ordinary for the DCU, whereas Marvel, they're just killing people left and right.
Yeah.
And I also liked I liked the impact that the other characters had on him throughout. I thought that there were solid relationships within there. Not everything was perfect, obviously, but I really overall thought that the movie delivered on what I wanted it to deliver on.
I think I think Black Adam's an interesting one to go into a little bit, just because we all three have very different opinions of it.
And I feel like we should honestly have a full episode about it.
We should do Black Adam
because it's a very controversial one. It didn't make any of my lists, but I will say I was thoroughly entertained throughout the entire movie, and I enjoyed it probably more than I thought I would. I'm not a big The Rock guy in general as an actor. I don't have any problem with it.
I am. I got a big soft spot for him.
You got a soft spot for him as an actor, and I've always just not enjoyed him in movies. But I like him as like a person. He seems like a great guy. But in this movie, I enjoyed his acting more than I've ever enjoyed it before, because he wasn't just doing his traditional charismatic rock bit. There was like more like stoicism and silence to the role, which I really appreciate.
Which I felt almost lended to it being totally a flat movie, because I don't know, I felt like
felt like the character was kind of one note.
There weren't many lines.
Well, sure. Sorry to interrupt. I think that the movie wasn't just about Black Adam, though, which was cool. Is that they also had Dr. Fate and they had Hawkman.
They were probably
both
the
of
best
those
parts
characters
of the movie.
added a lot to the movie. And Dr. Fate, I mean, he's fucking stole every scene he was in. Pierce Brosnan.
That's the other cool part about the movie.
And what a cool casting for that role.
Gosh.
Yes. To be paired up with The Rock, you would have never ever guessed that Pierce Brosnan would be thrown in a movie like that. And it worked super well. And I would say it actually added to it 100%.
When I think of Black Adam, I think of just like the colors of sand. And just how bland it looked.
No, it was very dull in color. Yeah, they went with a very specific tone of color.
Yeah,
because I mean they were based in a country that was like a Middle Eastern sandy country, and so they just rolled with that. Framing the whole time. All right, who's next? Further honorable mention.
Brand.
All right. Honorable mention. My next one would be Elvis. I don't know if either of you two got to see that this year. Yeah. Okay. So that's I'll just take the lead on this one, I guess. Elvis, I saw back probably the weekend it came out. A couple of buddies, not these guys, obviously. Jordan and Chase, shout out. And I don't know.
I sue us. We'll have to bleep out this.
Yeah.
I hope they're not copyrighted. But I didn't really grow up listening to a lot of Elvis or have him necessarily as a big soft spot in my heart. But I don't know. That movie just like blew me away. Like, just Austin Butler as Elvis was definitely probably top 4 or 5 performances of the year for sure.
I mean, these biopics, these musician biopics, are really taken off right now.
Yeah.
And how do you guys
after another?
How do you guys feel about the musician biopics?
I haven't seen them all.
Mixed emotions.
I'm a big fan of them. I feel like the problem is also their greatest strength. The fact that they are all doing so well that they're leading into another one, but they all kind of similarly fall into specific tropes and story structures which to be fair, a lot of these musicians suffered the same kind of situation where they like get really big and then they get like heavy into like addiction with like drugs or alcohol. But it's like every movie is exactly.
Sure.
And then they get
we're
ill.
seeing a lot of the same story over and over again.
Yeah, but to be fair, that is kind of how the stories actually just went. But I do wish there was more of a way to tell them. But I would say Elvis was still very different from like Bohemian Rhapsody and Rocket Man in its own way. Like it still stood apart from those movies. And I don't know, it was definitely probably made me the most emotional out of all of them, and just the performances were so fun, and getting to see Elvis' story, because I didn't really know a lot about that, and then I've heard from a lot of people who love Elvis and know his story that it did it justice too. So
well, and I think that's my one with any nonfiction movie, as long as it's true to the story and not Hollywooded out and turned into something just so it can sell a little bit or look a little bit better for the screen. You really have to be true to the story, especially when you are doing, essentially a biography of a real person, you really have to be true to that. And
it was fun.
I haven't seen them all, so it's hard to say, and I also don't know all these people's lives like that. So I just hope that they're putting in a real effort to bringing people in on set and on the writing who can be a part of the creative process, who actually can verify that this person's story is matching what we're seeing.
I think I'm really afraid to watch Elvis just because I have such a love-hate relationship with musician biopics. Yeah. Because, like, Straight Outta Compton, I feel like, was the first really good one. And then they basically just replicated the entire formula with Bohemian Rhapsody. Right. And then Rocket Man came out, and it was very different.
Kind of like a musical.
And I loved Rocket Man, but now I'm just kind of afraid.
Well,
I'm just afraid.
So what I'll tell you, Elvis is different than both of those very much in the style, and it's the editing is what drives the movie.
For Elvis?
I'm trying to. I can't think of the director's name. I didn't have it pulled up.
Baz Luhrmann, of course.
Baz Luhrmann. Thank you for that. And so the editing in that movie is just like, it's so fast paced, and every scene just pushes you into the next scene, and they use like these really cool like newspaper montages and stuff that just like seems to fit the time period too. And so it's just like the movie keeps driving forward. So I would definitely recommend giving it a watch.
I've also heard really like mixed emotions on Tom Hanks's performance.
I was gonna bring him up next.
We should save more of this when we actually review.
I agree.
Specifically biopics, because this leads into a much larger conversation. We have a lot of movies.
Final little piece I'll say regarding Tom Hanks is it's really fun to. I like seeing Tom Hanks in like a more negative role because he is very good at. We obviously know he can play the positive, fun-loving guy, so it's always fun to see Tom Hanks play like kind of just a straight up Reaver. Yeah, literally. Good old Reaver captain. Not to be confused with Captain Phillips. Not the lad, loyal lad. On to the next one.
Okay. Next, me. Yeah, it's me. I don't.
Honorable mention.
Right? Honorable mention.
Yeah, it should be the last one.
Mm-hmm.
It is the Knives Out sequel, Glass Onion.
Yes.
I don't have either of you.
Haven't seen it.
Have either of you seen Knives
Out?
That's
the problem.
That's
the problem. We were supposed to watch that together, and then
Well, Knives Out's for sure going to be an episode because that movie is just insane.
I've heard really good things, and I also heard good things about Glass Onion.
Okay. Yes. Glass Onion's very good. I think it's very good, and Ryan Johnson I think is a terrific director.
You're gonna get crucified in the comments section for saying that.
Controversy. I love Last Jedi.
Let's not talk about that. Let's just save that for another episode because Hudson's over here and spinning in his chair.
Spinning in my urn.
But Glass Onion was very good. If you haven't seen Knives Out, I don't think there's much to talk about here. But it was very good. It was masterfully shot, masterfully acted. I think there are flaws in the script, but it's very good. Not as good as Knives Out, but
my only it's different cast with the exception of Daniel Craig, right?
Yeah, so I think it's like Ryan Johnson's version of like the Agatha Christie like books, where it's the one detective, and they're making the series now. And
I like that.
Each movie is gonna be Daniel Craig as Benoit Blanc as the detective, but it's completely different cast, completely different mystery.
Oh, that's cool. So I like that. I honestly, if we can get more of those, I love Daniel Craig. I will.
Oh my gosh, he's insane. He's so good.
He's easily one of my favorites.
And he's just so damn handsome.
He's so handsome.
Too handsome.
Shockingly handsome.
Cool. Yeah, no, it'll be. I want to see him in something else other than James Bond because I've just been so. I love those movies.
James Bond is a spy.
Yeah, James Bond is a spy.
James Bond.
And I've been so glued to those movies for a long time that I kind of want to see him in a different role.
Oh my gosh, and he's so different. He has this weird like Louisiana like molasses kind of spilling out of your mouth kind of accent.
Just like what was that movie with Channing Tatum and him and Adam Driver?
Logan Lucky.
Logan Lucky. That movie was good.
Yeah.
Oh my god.
Does he have an accent like that in that movie?
Yeah.
Really?
He's got a weird accent in that, but I don't even want to impersonate it because it was just so unique, but it was really funny.
God, Daniel Craig is honestly, for how popular he is, he's still underrated.
Yeah.
Totally. Yeah, because he's been locked into this box for a while, and we've only seen him come out of it a few times, and they're always really good reviews of him, but it just hasn't blown up the way James Bond did, because obviously it's James fucking Bond.
It'd be cool to keep seeing him in different roles now.
Oh, we will for sure. I mean, it's like Hugh Jackman leaving X-Men and then doing Greatest Showman, and everyone's like, whoa.
Yeah. Oh my gosh. That's cool.
Okay, my last honorable mention is Black Panther. Loved the movie. I look back on the year, and that is a great movie.
I had
really
that as well.
Did not disappoint, but it didn't make my top 5. Just thinking back, it wasn't like one that really stood out to me. It's like, oh my god, one of the best movies. seen. It was great for what they
Yeah.
had to deal with,
Mhm.
and I think they did a really good job at writing in the emotion behind the actual real life passing of Chadwick Boseman
For the
and
circumstances,
using it for the characters and the development.
for
of
the
story.
circumstances
Totally.
that movie had, oh my gosh, I was
I know.
so shocked
It
by how
was-
good it was.
yeah.
It's in my top 5.
They
That's
brought
fair.
is it really? Okay.
Yeah.
I had to do some shuffling. But it's in my honorable mentions too. And I love how it's probably one of the best Marvel movies. Definitely one of the best Marvel movies I've seen in a long time. But just in general, I think overall it'll probably be like stick kind of up there with one of my favorite Marvel movies, just because of how different it feels and how like they do drive the emotions home. And then just the villain too being.
Oh my
Having more
gosh, he was
depth.
so cool. I think the only issue with the movie was that the CG of like the swimming kind of looked dumb when they're like underwater. Kind of just did not.
Yeah,
look
well,
great.
James Cameron
Oh,
was hogging all of
yeah.
the
I
water.
was gonna say to come
he
out
was
of the water,
hogging all the
sets
water.
and he
Yeah.
was hogging all the way of water.
But
Yeah.
God, yeah, like for a 3-hour movie, I don't know, it went by so fast.
Yeah.
And I didn't really like Black Panther 1. I was kind of bored by it. Bowed, of course.
I think there were a
Um,
lot of harsh reviews of Black Panther 1, but it wasn't as great as other people said.
Yeah.
It wasn't as bad as other people
Yeah.
said. I really feel like it felt
It was
somewhere in the
overhyped,
middle.
for sure.
Yeah.
And,
Overhyped.
and this one I think is underhyped. No one talks
Mhm.
about it. I thought it was so beautiful. I
Right.
think the whole last act is so touching.
Yeah.
I think people aren't talking about it yet because the MCU phase, whatever phase we're in, 5, is
5
slowly-
now done, but
right. We're
Really?
waiting to see what this all is leading to, so people are not really interested in
Mhm.
talking about it yet because we want to
True.
see the whole picture before we start piecing
Yeah.
all these.
But
pieces
see, that's
together.
how I felt all of Phase 4, and this one doesn't really connect into Phase 5, but I was just so connected to it. Like, oh my gosh,
Yeah.
like I hated Shuri in every other movie except for
Yeah.
this one. Like, she's so good. I think Ironheart's pretty dumb, though.
she was
Yeah,
the
Or at
most
least her,
shoehorned
or
part
at least
of the
her
movie.
introduction is just kind of weird.
Yeah, like I think I think I could be like the casting. I don't really have a problem with because I could see if they do the movie well, I could see that being good potentially. But as in this movie, it did feel very like shoehorned.
I think she was more of a plot device and more there to
Totally.
advance other characters.
she was very much
Yeah.
a plot device.
Yeah,
Because it was just, and it stood out just because everyone else had so much of an arc
Yeah.
and a character arc, and then she's just kind of there and kind of the like some comedic, what do you call it?
Like the
To lighten the tone type. Yeah,
Yeah,
I don't know
what
what
is-
the term is. I'm trying to think of here. Comedic
relief.
comedic relief.
relief.
Yeah. Which is it's another quick side note. Comedic relief works so much better in a Marvel movie when there's actual drama and stakes and tension
Gosh,
there.
yeah, this movie felt like very similar to No Way Home, where the main character is actually going through trials and actually struggling,
Loss
and like her mom is that her mom that dies? Or
Yeah.
like she's like it's Peter Parker's Aunt
Yeah.
May dying.
yeah,
Right,
not-
like
very unexpected.
Yeah.
yes, and it's like
Yeah.
she's not just this perfect entity that has no issues. Like
Yeah.
looking at you, Captain Marvel.
It's not like a personal attack.
We do not have to talk about that movie right now. We should do an episode on that just because we all feel the same way about it.
But yeah, spoiler alert. That's my number 5.
Okay.
Okay.
Well, actually, that's a good segue then, because I think we're done with our honorable mentions, and we lead into our top 5. So, Nick, it sounds like we're going to be going in order of our top 5 is least favorite to most favorite. So your number 5 is...
My number 5 is Black Panther, and that's just
Okay.
because I went in with not great expectations. You know, Marvel has somewhat disappointed me in the last year or so.
Fair.
I haven't seen Thor: Love and Thunder. The first 30 minutes at least, I watched that, and I was bored by it. Stopped watching it. Never finished it. I should finish it.
You should
obviously.
finish
You
it,
should.
just to know it. That's going to be coming up.
But yeah, it's like I
Yeah.
didn't love Black Panther 1. I just went in for the shits and gigs of it, and I came out with a teary eyeball. So
Black Panther
Teary
1?
eyeball?
just one. Just-
Wait, are you saying Black Panther 1?
No, Black Panther 2.
Okay.
Black
okay.
Panther 2. I
Okay.
got a teary eyeball.
You came out with a teary.
I have
eyeball,
heard
okay.
an issue with people saying that it's like crazily out of focus the whole time, but I didn't notice that.
I think
People
that
were saying
person just
they
needs
get-
glasses.
I think they're also just using
Yeah.
shallow depth of field, and people are like, "Wait, why can't I see anything behind the character's face right now?"
yeah,
And it's like that's the whole point.
or it's like going in and out because it's like trying to match the person. who's going in and out.
okay, yeah, because there were some
But
like
that looks
follow
so cool,
shots.
I
Yeah,
thought.
Also,
it's a style.
just
choice.
a note for the audience: as we're going through these, we're stopping ourselves and being vague. I think on purpose because we really want to deep dive into these movies, and we will get more into the cinematography and the plots and the characters with each movie that we actually dive into specifically. Yeah. But I think just for the purpose of this episode and this list, we're trying to cover them all vaguely and quickly. Yeah. So just know coming up in the future, we are going to be like really getting into the actual filmmaking of all of these. Yeah. Brian, what's your me?
Yeah, you go ahead.
I put on for number 5 is Nope. I think that just in general,
same top 5, 5th movie on our 5 list.
Okay, so all right, we're covering one at the same time.
Dang, that movie, I didn't even put that in any of my lists.
What?
I'm
wow.
so stupid.
I think that we saw a new sort of style of horror with Jordan Peele originally with Get Out and then Us and then Nope, because horror for a long time stopped being horror and fell into this really cheesy, just shitty movie category where good horror movies were rare to find.
Yeah.
You had something every once in a while come out like Hereditary, which scared your socks off in a really unique way. Yeah. But then Jordan Peele is now coming out regularly with movies that are both acted super well. Plot and dialogue are so strong, and then you have these characters that are just really, really well thought out and are beautifully shot. I mean, he is really trying hard to make these something super unique. So
everyone shit on Us because it wasn't as good as Get Out, but like Us was so phenomenal, and you can't compare them because really Us was phenomenal and Nope was phenomenal. But of course, they're not as good as Get Out. But
also, Us kind of left open a sequel potentially. I think he did that on purpose.
Oh,
Like there was definitely room for like Get Out ended bow tied, and it was really nice and pretty.
Yeah.
Us did not end that way.
Yeah.
And Nope, I would say did as well. Nope, you could do a sequel for, but you don't have to.
I would not love an Us sequel though.
I wouldn't. I mean.
Who knows? Maybe it could be good, but
it could be. I think at that point it then just turns into kind of a post-apocalyptic survival movie.
Yeah,
and it'd be hard to make it really interesting and staying within his realm.
Because at this point, the mystery's solved in Us.
That's a real bummer. Our upstairs neighbor decided to run the vacuum. It's not being picked up. Okay, Nick, let's do your next.
No.
My 5th was the same as his 5th. Yeah, no. Great movie.
I can't remember if either of you seen this movie, but my number 4 is Barbarian.
No, I knew that was going to be on your list.
What?
Yep. No,
you haven't seen it either?
It's on another one of my lists for this episode.
Oh, god damn it!
I know.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh, that movie was so good. It wasn't A24, but it felt very A24 vibesy. It has, I think, Bill Skarsgård, the guy who plays Pennywise in It.
Yes.
And gosh, he's such a weird looking guy, and like, oh, it sucks that you guys haven't seen it.
No, I've only heard amazing things about this movie.
Because it's like, from the outside, he could either be a good guy or he could be a bad guy. You just don't know.
Don't know it yet.
But yeah, just I guess a spoiler. A brief spoiler is that the movie's like split into 3 sections, so it's essentially like 3 chapters, and that's very unique. It's so good.
I like that.
Gosh, yeah.
Okay.
That kind of
we'll get into it. We can do an episode on that one in the future. I mean, there's tons of options here.
It's very good. You'd love it, I think. Unless you hate it, of course. The 3rd act is very controversial.
Controversial? Alright. No, I mean, every time I go through HBO, I almost put it on when I see it, but I just like am waiting for the right moment, and I want it to be like dark, and I'm really trying to just make myself kind of freaked out.
You were talking about like your attention span. I think that's a movie you have to watch.
That's
the runtime on it.
It's maybe like 2 hours.
That's not bad.
An hour
for
40.
a 3-parter.
Yeah.
For a 3-parter, we're looking at 2, maybe under 2 hours.
Yeah.
Wow.
No, see, so with the attention span thing, I would rather sometimes watch a movie in 2 separate parts and like really lock into it both times versus watch the whole thing and then I'm like fading out. And I know I'm fading out, but I'm trying to force my way through it. But with like a horror movie or something like that, I like to do it in one sitting.
Yeah.
Because of just like the feelings and suspense you get from it. So I'll watch it in one sitting. I'll get back to you.
Each chapter or whatever is like in a different aspect ratio. It's it almost feels like they're 3 different short films, but then they all connect.
Interesting.
See, it all connects.
Yeah.
Interesting.
And it all revolves around this barbarian. So.
I like the vague plots. I'm sorry, we can go on to that.
Yeah. And I don't even think you should watch the trailer. Because the trailer kind of gives away the premise, and I think even if you don't even know the basic premise at the very beginning of like how these 2 characters are meeting, then oh my gosh, I think it'll make the experience way
cool.
better. So don't even watch the trailer.
Okay, cool.
Well,
My number 4, I don't think you guys saw this. The Woman King.
No, I have
very,
heard it's very good.
very well done movie.
Yeah.
And it's also like for, my guilty pleasure of action movies.
Yeah.
It definitely, they did the action super well.
right.
But also the plots and the characters were really strong. And I will say in this sort of new generation of Hollywood where we're trying to get... No, I mean, really, think about it.
Generation.
Okay. In this new generation of Hollywood, where we're trying to get stronger female leads, we're trying to get more people who aren't white as our lead characters.
Yep.
This movie did not feel like it was...
Trying to push an
it
agenda.
didn't feel like it was trying to push it. It
Yeah.
felt very natural. It felt like a
Good.
really cool, natural, good story. Not like in Avengers Endgame when they shoehorned all the women together to do this women save scene.
They're all standing
It
within
felt
5 feet of each other on the battlefield.
it just
for
felt
no
like you
reason.
were watching a movie with well-written
Cool.
characters, and they were women, and you felt nothing about it.
Cool.
It was awesome. It was so good. John Boyega did a really good job in it. He was a fun addition.
Awesome.
Character, an
I
actor
didn't
I
know he
wasn't
was in it.
expecting to be in it, honestly.
Well, he got shafted in Star Wars so hard,
He
so
sure
it's good to
fucking
know
did,
that
poor guy. God.
we can get to see him in some more
But yeah,
stuff.
Woman King, highly recommend.
What's
I
what's
think.
the log line? If you were to pitch the movie, what's it about?
It's about a tribe in Africa that's sort of going through this point where Europeans were taking Africans and sending them to the United States to be, well, not yet the United States, but sending them to America to be slaves. And so you're kind of seeing these tribal groups who are both fighting it and also selling people so that their people do not get taken or sold.
Okay.
So they're like, there's different rebellion groups that are helping capture other tribes and selling them to white people, or even just giving them to white people to be sold as slaves. And so we're kind of following this one really strong kingdom tribal group who is somewhere in the middle involved with all of this.
I feel like that movie was undermarketed. Because
Yeah.
It was.
I never saw
100%.
Yeah.
I never saw a trailer for this.
Me too. Me too.
It was.
Because
It was.
I
Really
have
good.
heard it's very good. It does seem very good. Viola Davis kills it in everything. she
Exactly.
does. Yeah, we should definitely do an episode on that.
Yeah, strong character.
I want to watch.
I really like that one.
Sorry about that. My cat sort of hopped on the computer and ruined things there.
And he ruined it.
Banksy is a very, very bad boy sometimes.
Yeah, he's kind of jackass.
But we'll forgive him because he's handsome.
I'm not good to say that.
All right, so
Okay.
number 4 is what we're on for me, right?
Yep.
Okay, The Batman.
Really, that made
Yeah.
your number 4.
Now I'm thinking I should have put it higher.
What is that?
I just. Okay,
Were
no,
you-
I'm not saying that because
Can
I
you
think
not
that it
imagine
should be
what's
higher on your
higher?
list.
You
I
would put it lower.
remember you liking it so much that I would have thought it would
Oh.
be higher on your list. There's more so where that reaction.
I would have too. I struggled with this one. This one bounced between spots like 2, 3, and 4. I just love the other one so much. But
It's on my top 5 as well.
Yeah, it's on
And
my top 5 in Will.
I knew it would. See, that's the one I knew would be on all of our top 5.
Wow, now I'm actually surprised that it's lower than both of you because I feel like I like this movie the most out of all of us. But maybe that's not true.
Yeah.
I don't know.
Looking back on the year, I'm remembering
No,
more
there were
about
better
that movie
movies
than
out
other
there.
movies.
There were better movies.
Yeah,
that
but
came out.
This year?
Yeah.
Or I guess.
What is that? Your number 1?
We'll get there.
But here's the thing. Here's the thing. Objectively, I can say there are better movies, and I think that's why I pushed this down to the 4th slot. But
And
if
that's
I...
because Hudson hasn't seen those better movies.
That's true.
Yeah,
I
we have
did
our
miss a
list.
lot of movies this
True.
year. I will say.
True.
I have a lot on my I wish I
Yeah.
watched list.
Ooh, yeah, the movies above this I don't think Hudson's
Yeah,
seen.
yeah,
But
uh-huh.
I can also say, like, I don't know that I would necessarily pick the movies above this list to watch more often than this movie.
I saw a lot of blockbusters this year and not a lot of smaller
Sure.
films, which obviously we all love doing that.
Yeah.
It just I didn't
Yeah.
have the time or the money to be spending on those
Yeah,
movie
makes
theater
sense.
trips to see those smaller budget movies.
I put the Batman on here because for me, obviously I love The Dark Knight and all those movies, but I do think in its own way it can give Christopher Nolan's movies a run for their money because
I agree.
it's doing something completely different. I think the
But
fact
still grounded in reality.
Totally. And the fact that people, because you always hear the debate already, like, what's better, the Batman or the Dark Knight? And it's like, well, most people will still say the Dark Knight, but the fact that it can even give an argument for it, I think is fantastic. Because I would not have expected that to happen with the Batman movie this soon. And to have it be so different and just, I love the take on it of him being so introverted as Bruce Wayne. He hasn't quite figured out how to do the like playboy persona yet. He's just like out in public, and you can tell he's like struggling. He's socially awkward. But then when he's the Batman, he's just this brute like force of nature, and that's so cool. And then kind of just the idea that he is vengeance versus he's decided to be the Batman. Like he's just so focused on that. I think it was just so cool. That movie blew me away, and I always crave rewatching it. So just because it's lower on my list, I feel like I'm still gonna be watching it all the time. Like, it might be one of my favorite movies of the year for sure.
Yeah.
Even if objectively,
Top 5, I would say.
even if objectively I think those other movies are better, this might be like a personal favorite. Like I would probably watch this movie more than any other movie on my top 5 list.
The Batman versus the Dark Knight comparison is kind of similar to like the Tobey Maguire Spider-Mans versus the Tom Holland Spider-Mans, because they're both equal, or I wouldn't say, okay, they're not equally good, but like you can argue one's better than the other, because like the Tobey Maguire ones, it starts with like an older Peter, and the Dark Knight trilogy, Christopher Nolan starts with like an older Bruce Wayne.
Mm-hmm.
And so you can argue that it's so interesting that the Batman starts with him younger at a very beginning spot in his arc, so that it gives so much room for growth and change.
That's true, because we're kind of just coming in on him settling in as Batman, where he still does have a lot to look, because we see like a full suit,
he's not even Batman like
things, but he's
70%
still
of the movie.
learning how to do a lot.
He's vengeance.
Gotcha.
And it's just like a murder mystery movie too. That's the thing we never got to see in the Christopher Nolan ones.
Was a
the
lot of detective work,
which he's the
the
world's greatest detective.
Yeah, the world's greatest detective.
And this movie was all about working with Commissioner Gordon so closely through the whole movie, being with the police. I love that.
I think that's its strong suit, is that he starts at such a spot that we've never seen Bruce Wayne in, so that he can become that.
We'll get into it. Let's keep moving. Because we get so into these, but obviously these are the types of ones that we can really have a good in-depth episode about.
Well, my number 3 was the Batman, so you go to your number 3.
Okay, my number 2 was the Batman. So
okay, but what's your number 3?
My number 3 is Avatar: Way of Water.
Damn it! I missed my list too.
Wait, your number what?
Number 3, Avatar: Way of Water.
We're gonna have some interesting things here eventually, though.
We definitely need to do a full episode on both Avatar and Avatar.
Yeah, I mean, I really want to see it again. I think that's one of those movies that, I mean, James Cameron said he knows that you are going to want to see this movie in theaters, and you're going to want to see it multiple times. Yeah. He was asked the question, like, how are people going to know when to go to the bathroom? He was like, go. Well, they won't. Just go, and then you'll make up for that when you see it the next time. Like, you, James Cameron. But, yeah, you're right, because I do want to see it again in theaters, and I want to see it again in IMAX. I will pay.
And I want to see it in 3D.
You can do that. I boldly stand against 3D. But no, I really loved the movie, and I think if you like Avatar 1, you're going to like Avatar 2.
Yep. And if you did not like Avatar 1, you're going to hate it.
That's true. Yeah, and I liked that we went from jungle to water. I'm very interested to see what the next.
We're going to fire, alleged.
Fire, you say?
Something with fire, maybe like a fire tribe or something. But I think it has been confirmed that it's going to be.
I do think you're right about if you love the first one, you're going to love the second one. If you hate the first one, you're going to hate the first one. And if you feel kind of lukewarm about the first one, you're also going to feel kind of lukewarm about the second one. Because I'm in a weird nebulous zone with this movie. I just don't know. And I'll say part of it could have been I got up super early that day, barely got any sleep the night before, I had to go do a bunch of stuff, and then like we saw it later in the evening, and like, but I did feel every second of that runtime, but I was not
that 3 hours.
I was not that engaged with the movie overall, and I'm going to go see it again. The bastard still got me, because I'm still going to go see it again to see how I feel a second time.
The visuals are part of what gets you. I mean,
undeniably, it's a beautiful movie. Like all of the water stuff.
We can probably do Avatar 1 and 2 in an episode. Yeah. But maybe we'll get there.
I think it's kind of good to tie them together, because it's so you do kind of need to talk about one and talk about the other. Yeah. I don't dislike it by any means, but I definitely didn't love watching 2.
I was just worried it was going to be like a shot-for-shot remake, essentially, of the first one. And the second one felt like very much like a sequel that needed to be told.
Yeah.
The fact that Jake Sully doesn't even feel like the protagonist we're following. It feels like the kids are the stronger
characters that are coming forward.
And even with that, Jake Sully, I feel like is a even way better character in the second movie.
Yeah.
I think that he doesn't have as much of an arc as the first movie, but I enjoy Jake Sully a lot more in this movie, and I like how he's balancing like being the dad with being the soldier kind of leader type of role.
I did have an issue with the villain, but we'll get
Yes,
into
I feel like
that's I think
didn't,
everyone's gripe with the
Who
movie
didn't,
is like,
though, man?
what the fuck? Yeah, also the ending.
Retcon.
If anyone hasn't seen it yet, I don't want to spoil it at this point.
Yeah.
Okay, number 2s. Obviously, mine was Batman, so we'll skip over that. Your guys'
Okay.
number 2s.
What was my number 2? Now Nick might think this is a little controversial. No, I know you'll
interesting.
No, you'll like it, but you might
I'll
not
hate it.
You might wish it was my number 1. The
Oh.
Whale is on my number 2.
God,
Oh,
I
then
haven't seen
I'm guessing we have our 1 and 2
Switch.
Okay, well now we know what your number 1 is.
I'm guessing so The Whale. Just saw that this week.
Oh.
Only seen it once. Nick saw it twice.
Haven't seen it.
Hudson has not seen it yet, but I will gladly go with you and see it a second time.
Yeah, I will gladly see the 3rd. So.
Okay.
So this movie obviously had a lot of hype around it, and I mean, just to start off, this is not saying anything new. Brendan Fraser killed it, and yes, I would be shocked if he didn't win all the awards for this movie and just clean it up, because, I mean, I've always been a big Brendan Fraser fan, pretty much a big fan of anything he does, but this is so different than anything he's ever done, because he's usually just such like a charismatic, fun,
Goofy guy,
which I love, but this is just like, it's so polar opposite of anything before, and it's just like an emotional roller coaster, and you feel something every second of the movie, and I feel like even if you saw the movie and left it being like, feeling uncomfortable and not knowing how to feel, it's gonna stick with you no matter what.
Well, I just love how the movie is like, it's just a movie about an addict.
Yeah.
That's at the character's core, he's an addict.
Sure.
But on a much deeper level, it's not even really about that. It's about this guy who's on his last week of his life, who is needing to make sorry. I guess that's not even.
You find that out in the first like 2 minutes.
I do feel like I remember seeing something like that in the trailers, like they kind of hint at it.
Yeah, you find that out immediately, so that's not a spoiler. But technically, like, he believes he's on his last week of his life, and he needs to make amends with his estranged daughter.
Yeah.
That's the arc.
Daughter.
That's the arc here. It's not,
Right.
and then it's just him with this crazy vice that he's already
Right.
past fixing.
Right.
Unfortunately, that's what it's about, and I think that's so deep and it's so powerful, and you just see this crazy deep performance from Brendan Fraser that is so real and honest. And I also think it's really interesting that it was first a play, and this whole movie just
Feels
takes
like
place
it.
in one living room.
Yeah.
For
Feels
2
like
hours, you're in this one living room with Brendan Fraser.
Yep.
That's cool.
Yep.
Oh
There's
my
maybe
God.
2
Did he do
shots
the play?
outside of it.
I don't think so. No.
Okay.
No, he didn't. No.
Because I feel like that would have been much. That we would have heard a lot about that. Anyway.
Yeah.
I was like, did I miss something huge that Brendan
No.
Fraser was doing a play?
No, it was just a play that was adapted, but I feel like they probably didn't have to adapt it much. Like it
God, I
feels
almost
like
feel bad for the guy who did the play and didn't get cast in the movie.
Yeah.
Good for Brendan Fraser.
I know. Good for Brendan Fraser. No offense, guy.
Oh, and Sadie Sink was so good.
Sadie
so
Sink was
good.
so good. Well, everyone was so good in it, and like that's the other thing we were saying is like the final little piece about this movie is because it gets criticism from people about the whole like it's viewing heavier people in a negative light, like it's fat shaming. But what we were talking about is it's somebody with an addiction. And every other character in this movie has some kind of vice or addiction that they struggle with too, that isn't being overweight or eating uncontrollably. So it's like it's the overall idea is about addiction and how people cope with different losses and struggles they go through in their life. And that's much more how we viewed it when we watched it versus just to try. And that's the thing. It's not the whole movie just trying to make him look disgusting. Like, and I mean, there's some scenes that are rough
It's negatively
to watch.
depicting an addiction, which
Yes.
Darren Aronofsky, the director, has done before in Requiem for a Dream with other addictions.
But could you say that, like, I don't know, just speaking to addiction in general, could you really say that it's negatively depicting an addiction? Or is it just depicting the harsher side of an addiction?
And it's
of
hard
an
to
addict?
watch.
Because
I do
because
think
that
it's elevated.
absolutely is, I don't know, man, that could be real. Just because we haven't seen it be a part of our lifestyles, like...
No. In
I haven't seen
the
it, so I guess it's
performance, it's honest. But I do think, like, in the editing, like when he's like binging, they raise the sound design.
Oh yeah.
Just to overly make it seem like
they want to make you feel
they want to make you feel uncomfortable because he's binging right now.
Yeah.
He's
Because it
going
is
through a
uncomfortable.
crazy addiction,
Yeah.
which you would see in a drug addict movie,
Yes,
or you would
right.
see in
Anything.
yeah. You would see this in an
Alcoholics,
alcoholics movie
yeah.
where you're hearing
Yeah.
the sloshing, you're hearing
Yes,
Right.
exactly.
Yeah, they really want to drive it home.
which I think really works, and I don't think you can really make an argument that it's fat shaming as opposed to depicting an addiction.
So Nick, I'm guessing based on what you said earlier, this is your number one.
This is my number one.
So what's-
I think I think it's the only reason it's my number one is because of the cry factor.
Yeah.
What about your number two?
This movie did make me cry like a baby. And Nick was all sniffling next to me.
You blubbered like a whale.
I blubbered like a whale. That's what I'd say.
right.
But my number two, which I'm guessing is Brandon's number one, which Hudson has not seen or at least seen parts of, is Everything Everywhere All at Once.
Oh, I saw
Yeah.
most of it.
You
I
saw
watched
probably
most of it. I think
2/3 of
with
it.
you. And
Yeah.
God, it was good, and I really wanted to keep watching it, but again, I got pulled out.
Yeah,
for
so
whatever
that's
reason, but-
so that's my number two, and I think that's a movie you have to watch in one sitting
Ooh.
because it just grows and grows and grows,
Yes.
and it's starting with this normal family, and then it just becomes this totally out of pocket, totally out of universe
Oh my
kind of
gosh.
story. But I think I don't know. It's a movie you'll never see anything like.
Talk about an editing monster too, like how they would have had to shoot and then edit all of these
Oh my
different
God.
scenes
Yeah.
together from all these different multi-universes to combine them, and the way they'll have those shots where it's like, the main protagonist is standing there and it's like flashing through all these different, like
All
just
these
the
different ones.
editing.
Yeah, there's a
Like
ton
literally
there.
hundreds of costume changes.
And the
my
action's
God.
cool too. There's actual martial arts, practical martial arts.
Luckily,
in
they
the
only had to
movie.
change her costume from the chest up, so they probably
True.
Yeah.
did as minimal
That
as they
helps.
could, like head pieces and shoulder pieces, and then
Oh.
change the background or give her a green screen, whatever it was.
It just
they made it as
looks
easy as they
so
could on
good.
themselves, but still, costume, like even the makeup aspect, they had to change her hair, they
Mhm.
had to change her makeup, like
Mhm.
that shit was
Everything.
crazy. They really did do a lot with that.
Oh,
But it's just this like crazy family story at its core that's
Yeah.
so powerful
yes.
and
God, that reminds me, you guys never saw Hearts Beat Loud with Nick Offerman, did
no.
you?
Mm-mm.
Really good. I would recommend
Really?
it. If you really liked this for that aspect, you would like that movie for the
Okay.
same reason.
Oh, okay.
Completely different, obviously, but it was a family story. And It
Yeah.
was just really unique.
But yeah,
Yeah.
going into Everything Everywhere All at Once, I knew I was gonna love it because I loved Swiss Army Man,
Ah.
and you could totally see like the growth from I think the directors are like two Daniels, so they call themselves the Daniels or
Yeah.
Daniels. But you can see like it's musically based, but then it's like heavy on the editing,
music's
and
phenomenal.
and the themes they drive home at the end is just so powerful and so overwhelming. Like their style, the Daniels style of storytelling is just to like hit you in the heart
Yeah.
with every
No.
emotion you can
I
feel.
was telling Nick it's a good thing Hudson left to go to bed for the last 30 minutes because I started crying.
God,
for the,
I mean-
the second you left is when like it gets to the best part. You literally left like on the scene it gets to be the best part, but I was kind of like, good. I can just.
You guys
let it
act like
all
I'm
out
just
now.
a shell of a man.
No,
There are
no.
movies that make me
No,
cry.
I'm just
absolutely.
saying I didn't want to have to go through that in front of you. I didn't want you to have to see
In front
that.
of me, we could have done it together. Could have cried together. I would have held you.
Oh my gosh! It
But I
was
think
just
if we're
something.
gonna make an episode about this one, I think we need to start with Swiss Army Man.
That's fair. Yeah, that's
Okay,
fair,
interesting.
definitely fair. Have you
Alright.
seen that, Hud?
No.
I need to rewatch it
You'll-
because I don't remember it as well as I should, but I did watch it and I loved it. So we'll have got to watch that one then.
I think at this
Okay.
point we've covered both of your number twos and number ones.
Yeah.
So all that's left is obviously Batman was my number two, but my number one was Spider-Man: No Way Home.
Oh, what? That came out this year too?
Yeah.
What the heck?
That's true.
Are you sure?
Spider-Man, yeah. I
That
am
came out in
sure.
2022. Spider-Man No
yeah,
Way
it was
Home?
on. It was on a list of 2022 releases.
Oh no, dumb. 2021.
Was it really?
Yeah.
Did I get it from then?
Well, sometimes the movie
December
calendar
17th,
years.
2021. But we'll count it.
Sometimes
Damn
the
it.
movie calendar years are counted different because of how they do like different award shows and stuff.
Oh,
so
wow.
maybe
That's
that's
a real
why
bummer.
they counted it.
Yeah.
But
Now I feel like a real nincompoop.
Let's talk about it though.
let's talk
That was-
about any excuse.
Sorry about it.
Hey, fine, twist my arm.
Obviously,
Talk about
there's the
Spider-Man.
nostalgia aspect, and you loved seeing Toby and Andrew come back. That was great. Now I'm really not wanting to talk about it. because I fucked it up,
No,
so.
we have to. That was a phenomenal movie.
If it made my number one, it's worth talking about.
Yeah.
Yes,
that-
it is, and it would have been on my
Yeah.
number one had I thought it was on the
Had we
calendar.
not been nincompoop.
Yeah, I mean, obviously,
had I known
had
the
we
difference
been-
between
I
21
would say
and
that
22.
none of us were disappointed in any way coming out of it, other than the minor discrepancies of Sandman and Lizard. Also, the few little plot holes of Jamie Foxx's character being there. And
What was the plot hole? I don't know.
That he didn't know Peter Parker was Spider-Man. That was
Oh,
the whole.
oh,
Everyone
yeah,
who
yeah,
knows
yeah.
Peter Parker is Spider-Man is coming into this universe, and then he sees Andrew Garfield, and he's like, "You're just a kid."
Yeah, because he never
Didn't
found
know.
that out
Didn't
in
know.
the Amazing
Didn't know he
Spider-Man
was Peter Parker.
movies.
Yeah.
Shouldn't have been in the movie literally at all, and he ended up being one of the most powerful villains in the movie.
Yeah, but didn't you know it that when Electro went into the city power grid at the end of Amazing Spider-Man 2, he looked up Peter Parker's personal profile and somehow figured it out because that's what people on the internet say.
Really? Because he literally said to Peter's face,
Yes, I
"You're just a
agree.
kid." He was like, he also said that he thought he'd be black.
I agree with you. I agree with you.
He thought he would be black.
I agree with you. I just don't think it make. I'm saying to you what diehard people will say
Yeah,
to
well,
help themselves sleep. At night.
Diehard people need to get their head out of their ass
Yeah.
and look at the facts because they're wrong.
Yep.
No,
No,
you're
I
wrong.
do agree with that. I do agree. No, phenomenal. And that's another great movie, like we were saying, where you have that whole stretch of the movie during the center of it where it's just dramatic and sad for
Right.
a long time, but it feels
And then
necessary.
The ending was perfect.
Yeah.
It was
Oh,
exactly where we needed to leave Peter Parker.
Brought him in
It's
a great
Peter
new
Parker
direction,
having to make these crazy decisions that no kid has to make.
which is
Right.
what
Which is
Peter
what
Parker's
it's
all about.
something we've never seen in a live action adaptation.
Right,
Yeah.
and that's a big part of Peter Parker's character, comic book wise, is how alone his character really is. And so now we're really going to see
Yeah.
something like that come through now
Yeah.
that Iron Man is gone,
Yeah.
and all his other loved ones. I really, really would like to get more info on his Ben because
Mhm.
for some reason
I'm sure
his
we
Ben
will.
did not say with great power comes great response. It wasn't an impact to his character,
Yeah.
but I would like to see that there was some sort of
Isn't there
impact.
something that implies that he was told that?
Well,
I think
Aunt May
there-
tells him.
Aunt May tells him.
Okay, yeah, you're right.
And that's the first time he's heard it.
Which
and
is
both
cool.
other
Which is
Peters
cool.
heard it from Ben. It is cool because we
Yeah.
wanted to see that on
She
screen.
is his Ben in
Yeah.
this timeline.
Because they never acknowledged Ben. Ben almost feels like a deadbeat uncle that was just kind of never really there. And then when he
Yeah.
died, they were like, good riddance, whatever.
Yeah, it's
I'm gonna
weird.
go
I don't
fuck
know.
Tony
I
Stark
kind
now.
of like it, but yeah, hopefully we do find out what happened
Yeah.
with that character.
There's a lot more to be told in that Spider-Man universe, and I'm very excited.
Hopefully
to
they
see
just
it.
keep going down that path and keep him on his own, doing his own thing. Maybe some random team ups with Daredevil or other superheroes.
I think we are officially going to get that.
Well, good.
definitely- I believe it's confirmed that he's going to be in Spider-Man 4.
And then I've heard Spider-Man. I'm not sure if that was confirmed, but Spider-Man's going to pop up in Daredevil Born Again. I
Right,
think,
that's right.
Which is
Yeah,
awesome.
something like that. I also
So-
think John Bernthal is coming back as Punisher some way somehow. They're going to
Mhm.
start doing that again, which is great.
Cool.
I hope for
Um,
Spider-Man 4, I hope at the very least Peter Parker does not become friends with MJ and Ned until the very end.
I hope it's a
I hope it's
struggle.
not like
Okay,
easy.
well,
They're easy friends at the
We
beginning.
all know what's going to happen with Ned.
You
Gob-
They
Gobhoblin?
literally hinted at it
Yeah.
Gobhoblin?
super hard. Hobgoblin.
Yeah, yeah.
Gobhoblin. Yeah, that's for sure going to happen at some
Which
point.
I am
So maybe,
okay with
Maybe
because-
they will be friends, and then we'll see how that happens. But
Yeah.
I hope
we
he's
do
not
need
the
Goblin.
villain of the next one, though. I
No.
hope-
he won't.
I
It'll
hope,
take longer. Than
I
that.
hope it. It's
I bet you
it's a
that the
gradual
next
thing.
one will end with like a hint that he's
Yeah.
potentially leaning that way.
Yeah.
Do we want to do disappointment or
Ooh.
what we wish we had seen? We'll just blast through those.
Yeah,
real
let's just
quick.
blast through what we wish we had seen,
Yep.
and then we'll end with the.
All right, Nick,
biggest
you go
fucker.
first
You
with what
take
you
it.
wish you had seen.
Yep.
We'll hit them one at a one, and then
Okay, and yeah, you know, talking about it. Okay,
No.
Well, we haven't
just go
seen
through
it.
the list. Just go through the list. I don't know what to say about it.
Okay, movies I wish I had seen because I think they would be on my list. Triangle of Sadness with Woody Harrelson when they're on a cruise ship. I think looks
Like
insane.
Woody Harrelson.
Would have been very good. The Fablemans, which is the biopic of Steven Spielberg, or at least the half biopic Steven Spielberg, with Paul Dano actually playing Steven Spielberg's dad. I think it would be very good. Pinocchio, the Guillermo del Toro one, because not the Tom Hanks, live adaptation. I did see that movie. That was terrible. But yes, the Guillermo one looks very good. Beast, is that what it's called? Beast?
That's on my list. Yeah, Beast with
Idris. Idris Elba looks very good. Unbearable Weight of Massive Talent.
Oh,
Nicolas
yes,
crap,
Cage.
yes,
yeah.
still.
I love Nicolas Cage. I think that looks very good. Bullet Train.
Mhm.
I've heard
On
it's
mine as
really,
well.
really good. Brad Pitt.
It looks
and
great.
What's that?
Love the
buff
cast.
guy, Quicksilver.
Quicksilver
Oh,
also kick
Aaron
ass.
Taylor Johnson.
Yeah, good
that's
work.
Right. Yep.
This is embarrassing, but I've heard it's insanely good. Puss in Boots.
What the hell? Yeah, sleeper hit came out of nowhere. It's got like 93%. I don't like Rotten Tomatoes, first of all, but
Yeah.
it did well on Rotten Tomatoes.
I
and the
really
audience
wanna see it.
reviews were also very good.
That was a sleeper hit that came out, though. Like, I did not
remember
hear
watching
anything.
a trailer thinking you could put that on the list of movies I don't care
Really?
about.
The movie is about him on his last life. And
Yeah,
him
that's
wanting
cool.
to live
That's
his
cool.
last life.
Yeah.
Oh, God, I don't care about that. I will see the movie. That
sounds
you
so
literally gave me the
magical.
stakes, and I don't care about it.
Okay, and then my last one is Elvis, because I have not seen Elvis.
Okay.
Okay.
All right. Bud?
All right, yeah, Bros with Billy Eichner.
Oh, yeah.
That is something I do want to see. Beast. Emancipation, Will Smith's new movie. He's not canceled to me. He's a human. He made a mistake. Fuck it. Who cares? Move on. I do want to see Emancipation.
Though.
He's a great actor. And I've seen him slap a lot of people on screen.
That's true.
Northman. I really want to see that.
Oh, yeah.
I heard it was cool. I like him.
Yeah.
Marcel, the Shell with Shoes on. I want to finish. I
Yeah,
started it, didn't finish it. Bullet Train is on my massive, Unbearable Weight, Massive Talent. And then also Fantastic Beasts, Secrets of Dumbledore. I saw the other two, and I do love, obviously, the world and the lore of Harry Potter, so I really want to see that.
Man, we need to make a
Finish
full
off.
episodes about those, because I haven't seen any of the Fantastic Beasts, and I love Harry Potter.
The first one was great. The second one was fine, but I heard good things about Secrets of Dumbledore because it's mostly about Dumbledore, not really Fantastic Beasts. So.
It's so sad that Johnny Depp got fired
Real bummer.
for that one.
Yeah.
For
Yep.
nothing.
Yep.
Okay, my brain broke a little bit because somewhere along the lines I screwed up on my list.
Oh.
We skipped my third one. You just mentioned it, The Northman.
Oh my God!
I had Nope, and then the Batman, and then I think I got so excited to talk about the Whale that I skipped and went to the Whale. And
Skipped
but
three.
the Northman was the third. So let me just go on a little Northman tangent here, real quick.
Really? That made your top 5. That's cool.
Easy, yeah, dude. I love
See,
that.
and me and Brandon have very different.
You liked it less than I. You liked it, right?
I did like
but you
it.
didn't love it. Love it.
I loved the first act, and I loved the third act.
Even the middle does drag, I think. The middle drags on, and it's just a lot of kind of at the farm. Like, I won't spoil it for Hudson, but just at the farm,
The farm.
planning and waiting, and kind of a lot of like. But I think what I like about it is just I'm super into that whole mythology, like the Norse mythology, and so I liked in the middle act how it really goes into a lot of that, and like him trying to get the sword and all of that stuff, and just all of the like kind of conversations he has with Anna Taylor-Joy's character, who I can't remember the name of, right? Olga, I believe.
Oh, really?
I think it's great. Obviously, a big fan of Robert Eggers. He rocks, and I wouldn't necessarily say it's better than The Witch or The Lighthouse because I like how self-contained and small scale those movies are. But for this feeling like the most Robert Eggers has ever gone into a big blockbuster type theme, I think he did a great job with it.
Yeah.
I do think it was kind of mismarketed in terms of like you think it's just going to be a straight up Viking movie,
Yeah.
and that's really not what it is.
Uh-huh.
Oh, interesting.
It's really not.
Maybe
like,
that's a lot where my disappointment.
and I totally agree with you because I was like, yeah, it's really not a Viking movie.
And it being in your top 5 surprised me because I haven't seen it, and thinking it was just a Viking movie, I was like, well, there has to be more to it because you wouldn't just pick an action movie to be in your top 5.
It's not an action movie. I mean, there is some really sick action in it,
sure,
but it's very much like a mythology movie and a revenge story.
Also, God, he's so handsome.
Oh, he is a beast. I was
He's
watching
another
it last
He
night.
is just
Skarsgård.
jacked. He's
I was watching
absolutely
it last
jacked.
night. There's
Another
this
Skarsgård.
scene in the first
Good
maybe
Lord.
half hour of the movie where it's just a continuous shot and he's just going through a village just like, and they're just raiding and attacking, and
That sounds
he's
cool.
jacked.
He
And
is
he's just
insane.
walking with like a sword
And
in
he's
one hand
like,
and a knife in the
that's
other.
Viking.
Oh
That scene.
yeah. And I remember actually watching that movie in theaters and being like scared of him because he's just walking and his hair is all long and he's got like blood in his beard and so
that sounds cool.
the movie
Yeah, I
and the
really
movie's
wanna see
shot
that.
incredibly well. The music's beautiful and just
Yeah.
the mythology and then the final like confrontation. You remember, Nick? It was like
Yep.
so cool. That
Yeah.
I do agree. The
That
first and
final.
third acts are like perfect. Second one I'm a little flawed with. It drags a bit overall for sure. That would be my biggest criticism. It just drags a bit and it was kind of mismarketed, but
All I know is that these Skarsgårds taking Holly-wEiRd by storm.
Yeah.
I agree about that.
these
Yeah.
stars
They
go
are
kind of
so.
infested.
One after another. Really good stuff.
So I would have been remiss if I didn't talk about The Northman and left
Yeah.
one of my top
Yep,
5
no,
left.
absolutely.
That movie rocks. So my list, I had a lot of the same ones as you guys, so I'll just run through them real quick. I had Barbarian, which Nick already talked about. I gotta watch Barbarian.
Gotta watch Barbarian.
Triangle of Sadness. Guillermo del Toro's Pinocchio. I had Weird, the Al Yankovic story. I did want to catch that.
Oh my
one.
gosh.
Yeah,
yes, that
was
looks so good.
It kind of flew under the because it was
It did,
in.
yeah, I forgot that came out this year too.
Yeah.
I
No,
almost in my head thought that was a 2023 release.
And it came out. It kind of flew under the radar.
It was like on some streaming service
Roku,
that no one has.
Roku,
Yeah.
which is weird.
Daniel Radcliffe looked like he killed it too.
Yeah.
And the thing about that movie is that it's not nonfiction.
Oh yeah, I know.
It's a fictional biopic.
And isn't it? It's so,
What?
I can't remember the exact.
awesome.
I looked up the plot for it, like the vague plot synopsis, and it was some over-the-top thing of like he's like trying to be like a soldier or something. Something weird. It's really weird.
It's a parody of his life.
Yeah,
That sounds great.
yeah, which makes sense for Al Yankovic
Yeah.
because everything's a parody with that guy. So that's cool, and I just love Daniel Radcliffe.
Dang.
doing
Okay,
weird
we need
things.
to make an episode of that.
So yeah, so that's one we should catch because it just flew under the radar. Went out on Roku, showed at the Alamo Draft House for like a couple of nights, and then they got rid of it. It was not a big thing. I don't even think it went to AMC Promenade. And then I had Glass Onion, Knives Out Mystery. We already talked about the Banshees of, how do you pronounce that?
Inisherin or something.
Inisherin or whatever.
Yeah.
That one looks
That
great.
one looks really
and then
good.
The Woman King I had on there as well. And those were the ones I really wanted to try to get to. So
Okay.
yeah.
Good list. We got a lot of lists. We got a lot of movies here.
Yeah.
The very last thing, biggest disappointment.
I think there might be some controversial stuff.
I feel like I
I'm kinda
almost think that we have
scared.
the same one.
Well, there's one that'll be a little controversial.
Yeah, there's gonna be
for sure.
one that's controversial for you.
For you.
Is it Black Adam?
Yeah.
And I have another kind of controversial one for you, actually. Kind of for you too, but mostly for you.
Well, let me just get mine out because I feel very strongly about it. And
I
I
can't
don't think
wait.
you guys will disagree, but it is Jurassic World Dominion.
Oh, what?
I didn't see that.
That
I didn't see
movie
that either.
sucked ass.
Okay.
What the
It
heck? I had no idea that was gonna be there.
That's a nice
bad.
surprise to hear,
Yeah.
though, because
God,
I haven't
it
seen
was
this.
so bad. See, that's why I didn't think I saw it with you.
So now I'm wondering if you didn't
Right.
think of that other
Now
one.
I'm
Okay.
wondering.
Yeah.
Yeah, I must not have
Alright.
thought of it.
We
But
got some fun
Jurassic
stuff
World
here.
Dominion was awful
Dog shit.
in all aspects.
And how did you
Did
feel
you
about
like
the other
Fallen?
two?
Yeah. Did you like the other two?
I liked the other two. I loved the first one they did.
Yeah.
The rebirth with Chris. I thought that
Yeah.
was
The rebirth.
The rebirth, yeah.
Yeah.
With Chris. I thought it was really good, and then Fallen Kingdom. Actually, I did not like so much. I thought
Right.
it was okay. It didn't really feel like an important story to me. It felt like the whole movie felt like a plot device set up for number 3, where
Which
they're all
sucked
mainland.
ass, apparently.
Yeah, 3 was so bad. The dialogue was terrible. The plot was so weak. And then every time they brought back one of the original characters from Jurassic Park, they played They played the theme song, and they did it with every fucking one. So 3 times
get the
over,
rights
by
to
the
that song?
third
What
time,
a
they were
waste
like,
of Sam Neill.
I didn't play enough of it to actually do it. They just really did not deliver on that movie at all, and the whole thing felt super shoehorned.
Yeah.
Was not happy with that.
So
movie.
I haven't
Laura
heard a
Dern-
single good.
Laura
good
Dern and
review on
Sam
it.
Neill were not used properly at all. They were just stupid.
No, they were just stupid. It almost
God,
felt
the
like
trailer
their
for
acting
it
almost
seemed
felt
so
bad because
good.
the dialogue
Mhm.
seemed so poorly written that the acting seemed
Wow.
bad because it almost seemed like they didn't know really what to do with what they were given. The best part of the movie was Jeff Goldblum, and even then his character wasn't great. It was
right.
still it was still fun and Jeff Goldblum, but I don't know.
I haven't seen the second
not-
one
Did not like that.
or that one, so at this point, I'll probably never watch 2 or 3.
Do they use the fan service line of Jeff Goldblum saying "Life finds a way"?
I think they did like an off branch of it. To be honest, I don't really remember, but I do remember at one point rolling my eyes at a line like
Yeah.
that. So I'm pretty sure they did
Some
kind
twist
of
line where
reference
you're supposed to be
it.
in the audience, like, let's go!
Yeah. They might have even had someone else do it, like in the room with him.
Yeah.
Or he did. It was there.
And
It
he's
was
like,
there.
not
Yeah.
right up.
Wait,
And I
I
remember
missed though. Did
rolling
you
my
like
eyes.
Fallen Kingdom?
Little this, little that.
this, little that.
He said it was a
I
lot
really
of
didn't care
setup
about
for
it.
the third movie.
It felt
Really?
yeah, it
Okay.
felt like something that could have been split between, or it could have been part of or it could have been part of 3, and that would have been 2.
How'd you feel about 2?
I fell asleep halfway through, but I was loving the first half.
But
But I was
the
at the
second
theater.
half is where it really lost me.
That
The first
review
half
does not
was
count.
fun and Jurassic
Because
Park
that's where
and
they're
action-y.
running down them.
running
the
down the
volcano.
mountain, the volcano's blowing up, and dinosaurs are dying. It was crazy, and you're like, oh my god. And then the second half.
Oh my God, it's Robert Downey Jr.
The second half was where it really lost me.
Okay.
Wait, what was that you said?
It's Robert Downey
All right, well, now I know what movie I do not have to watch.
All right, well, interesting. I thought we would have had the same disappointment. So
Yeah, well,
Go ahead,
I'm
someone
still
who's next.
hoping that we have the same one on.
I'm kind of thinking we have. Okay. So,
is this the one that you were telling me that we
Wait,
all
how-
knocked out?
Yes, yeah,
we're all
Okay,
doing
okay.
2 disappointments, right?
I did
Yeah.
one, but go
Oh,
ahead.
okay. So, I'm going to go with my non-controversial one first. Halloween.
Yeah,
Ends.
that was on my list.
Is that the one?
That's the
okay,
one I
that's
thought
it.
you might be thinking of.
Okay.
Halloween Ends, which I almost forgot about. I feel like I don't need to go on too long about this movie, but it's just very strange. It's the most strange I've ever watched. Okay, real quick. I don't want to go on too long because I can go on all day about Halloween.
We can do an episode for Halloween.
Yeah, we should, because Halloween's like the horror franchise I kind of first grew up with or like got into. Like I saw the first one when I was so young. I still haven't really watched like the Jason movies or Nightmare on Elm Street much. I've seen the originals of each, and that's about it. But Halloween's always been like my shit. Okay, even a bad Halloween movie is a fun time for me, typically. And I had little to no fun with. I mean, it was just like, to me, it was very boring. It was kind of light on the kills.
The fun of the Halloween movies is the fact that Michael Myers is over the top, and he's not in Halloween Ends. He's in it for like 30 minutes.
And half the time that he's in it, he's a weak old man who's not doing anything.
And then the other half that he's in it, he's getting killed.
Why do you pick a new new antagonist that you haven't introduced before?
Yeah.
And try to make us care about him, and it's just...
I do love, though, that they finally killed him off in a way of like...
I agree.
Well, he's not coming back from that.
I agree.
God, I don't even remember how he...
They fucking... Okay, so he's on the counter, she's got him pinned down.
Yeah.
They end up, like, slicing his throat and doing some stabbing him in the chest and all this other shit. And then they parade him through the town on top of the car, and they throw him in that weird, like... mixer thing at the junkyard,
the car
and it just
or whatever
shreds him to bits.
Yeah,
you literally.
What? I don't even remember that. My
God, you must've
my
seen it.
eyes are probably.
You literally are watching it and you're thinking, "Well, there's no way that they can revive him at this point because we all saw this happen, and there was no switcheroo.
Unless they go into like supernatural now. From
Jamie Lee Curtis, it seems very official that she is done, and that the whole thing is done.
Yeah, I think that's on my list too. I think. The most disappointing part of that movie was that I kind of, as opposed to you where you had like seen them as kids, the older ones,
you've more recently
I just fell into Halloween. I just happened to see the Halloween 2018 in theaters just randomly, and I was shocked. I thought, this is the worst movie I've ever seen.
Yeah.
And I didn't really get like the lore of Michael Myers or like the fun of it. And then I saw Halloween Kills, and I was like, "This is the worst movie I've ever seen." And then while waiting for Halloween Ends, I had kind of started watching Halloween 1 and kind of fell in love with just the cheesy aspect. Like, that's what Halloween is that it's not supposed to be good. It's not supposed to be natural kills. It's not supposed to be like anything deep here.
Yeah.
There is a very strong sense of suspension of disbelief.
Yeah.
Like, you really gotta let your shit go.
And I finally was able to suspend my disbelief now. I love Halloween 2018. I love the original Halloween.
2018 was great. I loved 2018.
Yeah. I like the dialogue is terrible. The scenes are terrible with the family, whatever. But it's fun. It's fun. Halloween Kills. I fell in love with Halloween Kills.
It's a bad movie objectively, and like the plot is so stupid and over the top. And how many times are they gonna say "Evil dies tonight"?
Yeah,
Evil dies tonight. Like, fuck all that, but it's. But funny.
I love it now.
I love it now. But at least there's brutal kills start to finish through the movie. Yeah, over the top blood.
And the disappointment for me with Halloween Ends came with me finally giving in, falling in love with the series, falling in love with Michael Myers.
Can't wait to see Michael Myers in this movie.
And then God. It's just 2 hours of disappointment.
It's just it's probably the most boring. It's the most boring Halloween movie I've ever seen. Even a bad Halloween movie. Even a bad Halloween movie is typically entertaining because you're just like, what? What are you doing? Like, but in this movie, I was
like, okay, this is another one of those we can branch into the whole thing.
Yeah.
Move on to,
all right, we can move on from that.
Another disappointment because you guys, if you both had two, I just did mine once.
Do you want to do a second one and then I'll do, or I can do both? It's either way.
My second one was Black Adam, and I was just very disappointed.
I know that you. I expected that of you. Yeah.
But I mean, I don't think it was a bad movie by any means. I was just disappointed in it. The color scheme for me is very boring.
Well, yeah, never liked The Rock.
I've never liked
times to open your heart to The Rock. And you just don't.
I've never liked Dwayne Johnson. I liked him in Moana.
Yeah, okay. Doesn't really count.
I liked him in the 2008 film, The Game Plan.
That's the one. That's the one. Yes, that's the one.
You fucking like The Game Plan. That is just as bad as the Tooth Fairy.
8. Yeah. Did not like the Tooth Fairy.
Yeah, it's terrible.
I don't know. I think Dave Bautista is the better version of The Rock because they're both wrestlers turned actors. And Dave Bautista actually is good.
He's got some range.
Yeah.
I've
just never seen range from The Rock.
I would agree with
But
that.
the thing is, I think Dave Bautista is less in charge of the movies that he's in, whereas The Rock seems to be completely in charge of the movie he's in terms of like he is producing them.
That is cool.
He's building a lot of his own movies because he has his own production company.
Yeah.
So he is choosing his characters. They are writing for The Rock, and he's approving them. Like, he is picking these roles himself and not really giving himself the space to expand because I think he's trying to play it safe and do what he knows people love and want. And he's not giving himself the room to really succeed as an actor.
Yeah.
I think he has the chops.
I'm sure he does.
Have the chops.
I'm sure
I've seen little moments in some movies where he really expressed some true depth, but we just haven't seen him actually be able to actually bring it out.
Yeah.
Whereas Dave Bautista has been, I'm sure, called for roles, but probably auditioned for roles, and he's being brought in, and actually they are running him through and training him, and he is becoming a better actor because of that.
Yeah, for sure.
I think a lot of our opinions on Black Adam have to do with our opinions on
the
Dwayne
actors.
Johnson.
For sure. 100%.
Yeah,
the whole,
exactly.
it's so
also,
much about
mine
him.
a lot comes from the Snyderverse and where the DCU was, and where, because I'm a huge fan of the DCU.
See,
I grew
love
up
it
on
too.
Superman and Smallville, and I have a huge place for it.
I loved the original three: Man of Steel, Batman vs Superman, and Snyderverse Justice League.
Wonder Woman was also great.
Wonder Woman
1 was
I haven't seen that one in so long,
good.
so I
Wonder Woman 2 sucked ass, but one was awesome.
Yeah.
Something
I
I
haven't
can
seen
compliment
Aquaman.
Black Adam on for sure is how, even though the Snyderverse is dead, it's killed, so none of this really
James
matters
Gunn.
that much. But that's a whole other thing. But I loved how, even though it wasn't Zack Snyder directing it, this movie still kind of fit into the tone.
Yeah,
of that. I did like how it took on and used some of the slow-mo
Well,
stuff.
because he was a huge proponent for Snyderverse.
Right.
He wanted to bring it back. He wanted Henry Cavill. He wanted Ben Affleck. So he built this movie to fit that tone.
Right.
Because he knew that if it did well, Warner Brothers would be wrapped around its finger and they'd have to do it.
I like what he tried to do.
Because it pulled in half the box office they were anticipating, which it still did really well, but it didn't do as well as they needed it to do for him to have the voice that he was really gunning for. And then they announced Henry Cavill back as Superman. We're rolling with it. We're doing it. And 2 months later, they were like, fucking never mind. Yeah. And now we're going to get the release of Shazam! Fury of the Gods and Aquaman 2 both this year, and both are absolutely meaningless now.
Right.
What the heck? They're still releasing those?
Hell yeah, because they put so much money into them. Why would they not?
Like,
that is so terrible.
That would be cutting
why don't they...
a major loss if they didn't air those movies.
Yeah.
They would lose millions.
You have to air them.
Because
And it's like, people will still go watch them because they like the characters, and also like the reason I'll watch them, especially like for like support the actors or whatever, the people involved.
Yeah, the people involved in the movie. I now want to pay to support because they absolutely these poor people have been fucking.
But fuck Warner Bros. I also hate the fact that I'll be supporting Warner Bros. by going to see the movie because they have just been.
Well, but you know what we should do. But honestly, that's where this lies, is that we have to see those movies to support that grouping.
Yeah.
And then now we have to not see Blue Beetle. We have to not see every other DC movie that comes out after this, because they're all James Gunn run. And so those are the ones that you don't give your money to. Whereas these ones that are part of the original collection, shut up.
No,
Shut up, you.
I just don't get why the Snyder Cut didn't change things.
I don't either.
I don't got that. It was so good. It revitalized Ben Affleck and Henry Cavill. Like,
I think if no one was already waiting for the Snyder Cut, begging for it to get released, I don't think anybody else watched it. Which I'm not insulting the movie because I love it.
Warner Bros.
But like, I don't think I think a lot more people that are just average moviegoers that go to see an Avengers movie or go to see a Justice League movie went to go see Justice movie like summer blockbuster popcorn time, have fun. But then 4-hour cut of Snyderverse comes out years later. All of those more average
all the money they put into just releasing
Snyder
Cut.
That was
Michael
for the
Scott,
fans.
I'm sorry, Warner Bros is like Michael Scott firing Devin. They don't want to go back because they're afraid they're gonna look stupid. Yeah. So now they're like, well, we're too far gone in this decision. I can't go back now. That's why you're firing me? So you don't look stupid?
That's a little deep dive reference.
Deep dive office reference.
That's a deep dive reference.
But that's exactly
0% of you that are subscribed.
Anyway, let's move on.
All right,
from that.
so
that's
that's a whole other conversation we can get into.
Let's get your other disappointments.
That really pissed me
My
off.
final disappointment. This is I do have to preface my disappointment because it was already mentioned tonight as a
let me
light
guess.
movie. No, it's not Avatar: Way of Water. It's not Avatar: Way of Water. Got him.
Yeah, you did got me. That's what I thought.
I gotta preface this with, I do not think in any way it's a bad movie. I don't even necessarily think it's a mediocre movie, but because of things I heard and people I talked to and ideas I had going in, I hate hype. This is why I hate hype. I try not to let myself get involved in hype,
Which is why I've sworn off watching trailers.
Which is, I get that. I got into the hype for this. Top Gun Maverick.
God.
But I again, and I can't preference enough, but I heard from probably 15 to 20 people, this is the best action movie that I've seen in years.
I didn't feel that way.
But I heard that so many times. So many times. And I did, like I said, all of the action was so extremely well done, and I see what they mean from like a practical standpoint. Sure. You never see that going into any movie.
No.
That much practicality, and I respect everything they did with it. So this, if anything, it's my own hype that killed it for me.
It's
so
your
I
own
blame
fault.
I blame my own damn self here. I don't blame the movie itself, and I'm not even a big Tom Cruise fan, but I enjoyed him in this movie more than I would enjoy him in most things, and I enjoyed Miles Teller, right? That's I enjoyed their whole plot line and how, you know, them having a kind
of
of
sexy
Iceman?
beach dance scene.
Yeah, that was sexy.
No,
they're all shorn and playing volleyball.
I feel kind of bad that I even
stashes.
put it on this list,
Everyone's
but
got powders.
because we called this list a disappointment list, I did walk out feeling some disappointment that I didn't want to feel going into it. But
That's fair. I get that.
I'm even hesitant to have it on this list because it was objectively a really good movie, and I believe that especially if you grew up like watching Top Gun and then got to go see this sequel all these years later, being like, oh my gosh, this was so good.
And they used a lot of nostalgia factor from the original Top Gun,
which I felt I haven't. Again,
there was a lot of
I haven't seen all of the first one, but I still feel like they did a good job of doing that without it feeling cheap.
The original song was there. You really would appreciate it more, I think, if you had seen Top Gun.
Yeah.
See, and I went into that movie with all that equal hype that you had,
and you felt,
but it exceeded that.
Interesting. See, yeah, it's interesting, and by no means do I dislike that movie at all, and I would watch it again for sure. I enjoyed it. It was just for some reason there was something about it. I toyed with this one in Avatar: Way of Water for my disappointing list. If we could have put 3, I would have put Way of Water. Honestly.
Wow.
I would have. Well, we got to do a video on that.
Separate
conversation.
conversation.
But yeah, so Top Gun Maverick, I even kind of feel bad about it talking it right now because I do like it. It's just a weird one for me.
Yeah,
so
I get that.
That's where it went.
Yeah.
I don't know why. Well, I'll have to do another shot
loved
someday, though.
Do you have a number 2? Did we cover both?
Yeah. Halloween and Black Adam.
Oh, that's right. Okay.
Did you happen to think of another number 2 off the top of your
No,
head?
I just, in my head, the bar was set at Jurassic World Dominion, and to me, nothing was
as
bad as that.
I haven't
or
seen that one.
that.
You just said it was so bad.
I literally
wiped it from my brain.
Well, really, I meant to ask you,
when
Halloween Ends, did you feel disappointed in that?
I didn't feel disappointed.
Did you have fun with it?
It was one of those, okay, I went into Halloween with the same expectations that I go into with any Dwayne Johnson movie or any sort of like cheesy movie. Like you go into it knowing like, okay, this isn't gonna have strong characters or plot. It's gonna be a cheesy action apocalypse movie, whatever you're watching. And I went into it knowing like this is gonna be a Halloween cheesy horror movie, and that's exactly what it was. And there were elements that I enjoyed and elements that I didn't, but I had no feelings about it going into it, and I had no feelings about it leaving it.
Fair.
I went into Jurassic World hoping that it would be good, and was insanely let down.
Makes sense.
Oh my god.
Makes sense. Yeah. I can totally see that.
Yeah, I think that's it. That's all of our lists. We're definitely in a good amount of time for what this episode was.
Yeah, this is going to be a very long episode.
Anyone, I mean, you can listen to podcasts when you're driving around, working out, doing whatever you're doing.
Yeah. All of you 0 subscribers can
make sure to hit that like subscribe.
The good thing about having 0 subscribers and 0 likes, you got nowhere to go but up. So if you want to go ahead and ring the bell and hit the like button and all that stuff, it does help. Feel free to throw us a comment if you ever want us to review anything. We're just getting started with all this.
Our main episodes will definitely have more structure.
Yeah.
This was just kind of an introduction, who we are, what you can hear us and know what our thoughts are, where we all kind of fall. But
we're very interested in reviewing like movies, TV shows, video games.
We're probably going to do some
video
TV
games,
shows,
TV
video
shows,
games as well, with Last of Us coming out. So
Yeah,
I think that's something we'll want to talk about.
We should probably start to do a weekly Last of Us. I was thinking that'd be good.
Ooh, that'd be really cool.
Yeah. Even if it's just like a mini-sode or something.
Dang, I wish we were doing this when House of the Dragon was coming out.
Oh yeah, well, catch us for season 2.
Yeah,
we could do a season 1 review before season 2 comes out. There's all sorts of
Yeah, there's a lot we're going to do. And honestly, whether you listen or not, we don't really give a fuck. We're going to do this anyway because this
So
is our outlet for movies. And
we do this anyway, so it's just a
matter.
matter of clicking a microphone on and just doing it for you guys, whether you listen or not. And hopefully, we'd love to get people listening. So if you enjoy listening to any of this, and fellow movie show game nerds that like to listen to people drone on about
Make
this
sure to
kind
hit
of
that
stuff,
little notification bell so you can know.
Do all the things that we like and we need, and we appreciate you guys because if we like talking with each other, but we would love to hear your thoughts and get you in the comments if you ever want to review anything.
Don't appreciate them. Don't really know them.
Yeah, we'd like to get to know you though.
We would love to get to know you.
I think that's it.
Yeah.
Thanks for
All right.
listening.
Signing off.
Call it.